I need to talk to you about, cars.
Cars? You... Oh, cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess it is about time that you and I started talking about cars. Oh, God. This car isn't in trouble, is it?
No. Never been off the lot, far as I could tell.
Look, Will, driving is serious business. Well, these days, you got to think about safety. You never want to go for a ride in a car without your seatbelt. And use your brakes. Don't floor it. Because then you throw a rod, you flood your carburetor, you crack your block. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, man.
No sex before marriage.
Hey, this is David and Ricky here with Hands of Hope Tucson, and we're here to introduce you to our parent curriculum called Why Wait, where we want to empower parents to have really good, deep, meaningful conversations with their kids about sex. And as we saw in the Fresh Prince video, it doesn't go easily. It doesn't always go as planned, and usually it doesn't turn out how either party hoped. So what we want to do is provide some real practical resources for parents to be able to have deep connection and meaningful things to talk about with their kids. So the reason why we call our curriculum Why Wait is because if you're not already having these conversations with your kid, why wait?
For sure, and as David was talking about, these conversations are awkward at times, but what we have to understand is that if we're not having these conversations with our kids, culture is. And they're seeing this every single day, everywhere they go. I mean, now that they're on their computers all the time, being at home, they're exposed to it more than ever. And so we know it's difficult, though, and it does get awkward, just like we saw with the Fresh Prince video. But it doesn't mean that we can't have them or we shouldn't have them. What's so cool is that the hope behind all this is that we as parents have the most influence in our kids' lives, especially when we talk about love and sex and relationships. And so, parents, I want to encourage you to start these conversations, and hopefully some of these videos will give you the tools and resources that you need to be able to do that well.
That's right. We're going to unpack some really complex questions in future videos, but here's where I want to start, and let's go to the word in Deuteronomy 6, where it says, "Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your strength. These commandments I give you today are to be on your hearts." And I want to pause there just because really these commandments, these rules, how sometimes we think of commandments, really they're not restraints. They're a path to better freedom, a path to better health, to better peace. And that's the heart of God. When we talk about these commandments and we talk about how they pertain to something like sex, and continues to say, these commandments, impress them on your children, talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. So always, this is important to God. And specifically talking about sex, we need to communicate the heart of God to our children so they don't just feel that restraints, right? Just do as I say, not as I do. It never works. And
I think what's so cool about that is that it shows us as parents that it's not only like a talk or the talk, as we always say, but it's a continual talk throughout our whole lives about all these different kind of topics. And so
that's right, and that's important to remember, and that's why we're going to keep putting out these videos. And the reason why we want to empower parents to do this is it's not easy. It's not easy to bring up things that I never got a sex talk growing up, even in a Christian home, and most people I know never got one either. Christian, non-Christian, regardless of race, socioeconomic status, their beliefs. Most people I know never got one or didn't get a really good one. So we really want to provide the platform and the resources for parents to do this well, because it's so important.
We always want to kind of give questions that we can use, that you guys can use today with your kids. And this is kids for any age, younger kids, older kids. And one of the very first questions that I think is great to ask before we get into love, or before we get into sex, or before we get into relationships, is the idea of love. And so asking a simple question for our kids, no matter really what age they are, is what is love? Or what does it mean when I say I love you? And I think you can continue to ask this question throughout their lives as well. And answer they give when they're 4 or 5 is going to be much different when they're a teenager. And so continually having that conversation with our kids is really going to help you understand where your kids are at in their heart and allow you to open up those conversations.
That's right. So we're going to go ahead and start there. And what I'd like you to do next is go to our Hands of Hope website, givehopetucson.com, and go to the prevention page and sign up for our mailing list. And what that's going to provide you with is some more in-depth resources around these topics, some resources that we have access to. And we're going to talk about them on these videos, but that's going to give you links and things to access them for yourself, as well as subscribe to our YouTube page. Once you get your initial email, there's going to be a link there at the bottom to subscribe to our YouTube page, and you can see our future videos.